Good morning, dear students. I hope you all are fine. So today we are going to start your 8th chapter, that is Reproduction and Adolescence. So in this chapter we are going to cover the following topics, that is modes of reproduction, that is your sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction, then metamorphosis and hormones and endocrine gland, about the hormones and endocrine glands, and then reproductive phase in human life, then determination of the sex of the baby, then adolescence, puberty and changes at puberty, then reproductive health. So these are the topics that we are going to cover in this chapter. So students, as you have studied earlier also in your 7th class also about this chapter, so first topic, first definition that they have given is about species. So what is species actually? Species is a group of individual of the same kind that can reproduce. Means to say, either you can consider human beings or dogs or cats or any kind of animal which are similar. All cats are similar, all dogs are similar, so we can call them as a species. The species of dogs, the species of cat, the species of human beings. So any of the group of animals is called species. Where comes here the definition of reproduction? So like all the life processes like nutrition, respiration, excretion, we have studied about all these processes, and we always say that these are very important for living beings. Similarly, reproduction is very important for all the living beings. Why? Because we know that all organisms grow old and ultimately die. So to continue the chain of the living organisms, to continue that chain, reproduction is a process which is essential for the continuation of a species. If there is no reproduction, all the species will ultimately die, and there will be no human being, no cat, no dog, no species will left on the earth. So that is why reproduction is very important. So now what is reproduction actually? So reproduction means to say producing young ones of their own kind, of its own kind. For example, they have shown you pictures at the bottom of this page. So in first one, a bird with eggs, means to say birds lays egg, and from the eggs little ones of birds comes out. So similarly, dogs give birth to puppies, human beings give birth to their babies, and then last one they have given you the example of hydra with the bird. So what is hydra? Hydra is a plant species which is generally found in water, and it gives rises to birds. Birds then again complete give birds can be grown into a complete hydra later on. So in this way, each species is giving birth to their younger ones, to their little ones, to their babies. So that process is called reproduction. Reproduction means producing young ones of its own kind. As we all know, dog give birth to their similar kind of dog puppies, and cats give birth to their kittens, etc. So reproduction means producing young ones of its own kind. So this is the definition of reproduction. Then moving to the next page, then they have given you the modes of reproduction, and there are two modes of reproduction, that is your asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. So there are many ways in which young ones or the new individuals are produced. For example, some hatches out of eggs like chicks and snakes, and some are born from their mothers like kittens, and puppies like human beings also. Some grows from the parent's body as in a hydra, and some split up into two parts like amoeba. So they have given you examples first, then they have categorized these kind of examples into two categories, that is your asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. So we have studied this in 7th class also. So they have given you the difference between asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. So what is the main difference between asexual and sexual reproduction is that first is the individual is single parent, means to say new individual is produced from a single parent. In asexual reproduction means only one parent is involved, and sexual reproduction, there are two parents involved in this reproduction, one is male and another one is female. So second point is gametes are not produced because asexual reproduction is not depending upon two parents, that is why gametes are not produced. And on the other hand, in sexual reproduction, because it belongs to two parents, that is why two kinds of gametes are there, male gametes and female gametes, and when they fuse they results in the formation of zygote. So third is that new individual is identical to the parents, and it happens in asexual reproduction, means to say the babies of the things that are reproducing through asexual reproduction, their babies or the younger ones of them are exactly same as that of parent, they are exactly same. mostly same, means identical means 100% same. But in case of sexual reproduction, new individual is not exactly identical to any of the two parents, but has certain features similar to their. So in case of sexual reproduction, no younger one is completely identical to their parents, but they are similar to their parents. We can say they are similar in some characteristics, like if the parents are having black hair, the babies will have black hair. If the parents are having blue eyes, the babies will have a blue eyes. So in the similar way, they are identical in some features, they may or may not have. And so similarly, dogs and cats, in case of dogs and cats, we are having the little ones of dogs and cats of some different color also. So that depends upon the parents little bit. The characteristics definitely depend upon the parents, but they do not you can say remains 100% constant, they may vary. So this is the difference, main the difference between asexual and sexual reproduction. Then asexual reproduction in animals. So animals reproduce asexually by a number of methods like binary fission, budding, fragmentation, regeneration. So there are different meanings again, different words are given, and then each of these are explained by taking example. So now we are talking about asexual reproduction in animals. So one by one we have to discuss these things in detail. First is your binary fission. So binary fission is common in unicellular organisms like amoeba. So they have given you the example of amoeba here. Amoeba is a parasitic animal, and it is exactly same as shown in this figure 8.2. Figure 8.2, at the starting they have shown you one amoeba. Starting circle is representing one amoeba, and this amoeba is a parent amoeba. It is having cytoplasm. The outer side is called cytoplasm, and central point, black point, is called nucleus. So when it reproduces, it divides its nuclear first. It divides its nucleus, and that is called your nuclear division. After the nucleus division, there is a difference in cytoplasm. Cytoplasm also started, you can say, differentiating from each other. So in that process, ultimately it will lead to the formation of two daughter cells, two daughter amoebas, as given in the last you can say last stage of this figure. So what happens in amoeba? Binary fission. Fission means to say breakage of something. Fission, the word fission means to say cutting of something or breakage of something. So as you can see from the figure, from one single parents the division is taking place, and at the end we are getting two similar kind, two identical things, that is your daughter amoeba, and this is the process by which amoeba undergo reproduction. So this is called your binary fission. Then binary means to say two, that thing is dividing into two parts. The word binary means to say two, fission means to say cutting or splitting up or dividing into two things. So as it is happening in case of amoeba. So next, moving to the next page now. Then they have given you the example of budding. So what is budding now? Budding can be understood with the help of hydra. What is hydra? Hydra is a, you can say, water plant. You can say hydra is a type of water kind of plant or water kind of species. So this takes place in the formation of buds. Buds are small bulb like projection formed on the body of an animal. So they have shown you hydra. Hydra is a water species, and in first figure simple hydra is shown. In 8.3, I am talking about figure 8.3. In first stage they have shown you first hydra, then in second a bud is grown out of that hydra, in third the bud is grown more, and in fourth that bud gets separated out of that main parent part, that is hydra. So in this way new younger one is produced from that hydra. So this process is called budding. In budding, like in simple flowers, we also call that little flower as a bud. So similarly hydra is developing into a bud along with it, and then it is getting divided into two parts, that is here two hydras are being produced like this. So then they have talking about sexual reproduction in animals. So earlier we were talking about asexual reproduction, so that is why only one parent was involved. That is, either you can take the example of amoeba, one parent was involved. Then your next is budding, which is taking place in hydra. So hydra, in case of hydra also one parent was involved. So now there is a example of sexual reproduction in animals. This is the most common method of reproduction in animals. As mentioned earlier, two parents are involved, one is male and another one is female. So two types of reproductive cells are there, which is called, you can say, gametes, and these are produced by the reproductive organs of the two parents, and male produce male gametes, and which is called sperm, and female produce female gamete, which is called ovum or egg. And so now we are talking about the sexual reproduction that is taking place in human beings, or there that is taking place in any of the animals. So any of the animals which are going through this kind of reproduction, they are having two parents. One is male parent and another one is female parent. And the gametes produced by male parent is called male gamete, and gamete produced by female is called female gamete. And the male gamete is also called sperm, and female gamete is also called ovum or egg. So as they have shown in figure 8.4, when a female, you can say, egg fertilize with male gamete or male sperm, then it will result into the formation of a embryo, which further results into formation of complete human being. So in this way, this is getting fertilized. And moving to the next page now. So the male gamete and the female gamete fuse to form the structure called zygote. This process of fusion of male and female gametes is called fertilization. After fertilization, zygote develops rapidly and undergoes growth in size. This is called embryo. Ultimately, a new individual is formed. So how the sexual reproduction is taking place? Firstly, the male gametes and the female gametes, they fuse. Fuse means to say they join. And after joining, they will result into formation of zygote. So the process, the complete process is called fertilization. And after the zygote is formed, zygote start growing and it will result in the formation of embryo. And finally, embryo grow to give the complete structure, the complete human being structure, or the complete human being like baby. Understand? So next is the your types of fertilization, that is your external fertilization or internal fertilization. So we have talked about your sexual reproduction, and it is of two types. External, this can be through external fertilization or this can be through internal fertilization. So first is they have given you the external fertilization, which is taking place in fishes, starfish, frog, etc. So the male and female gametes are released in water and the fusion takes place inside water by chance. So the type of fertilizer in which fusion of male and female gametes takes place outside the body of the female is called external fertilization. So both the parents, that is your male frog and female frog, they are laying their male gametes and female gametes somewhere outside in the water, and by chance they get fused, and in the that will result in the formation of their younger ones. So this is called your external fertilization, where the fertilization is not taking place inside the female body. So then comes your internal fertilization. Fertilization which takes place inside the female body is called internal fertilization. This type of fertilization occurs in all kinds of birds, reptiles, mammals include your human beings, dogs, cats, cattle. So this is an efficient form of reproduction. So then comes your oviparous and viviparous animals. So what are oviparous and viviparous animals? So simply the oviparous, and there are two types of animals. There are two type of sexual reproduction. First is some animals are laying egg, as we all know, birds lay egg, lizards lay egg. So and some animals give birth to their younger one directly, like dogs, cats, or human beings. So the animal which lay egg are called oviparous animals, while the animals which give birth to their younger one are called viviparous animals. So this is the basic difference. This is very important question, that what is oviparous and what is viviparous. So just one thing you have to remember, there are some animals which are laying egg and there are some animals which are giving birth to their younger one directly. So the animals which are giving birth to laying eggs, those are called your oviparous, and those which are giving directly birth to their younger one, those are called viviparous. So this is all about your oviparous and viviparous animals. And so this is the first part of your video, students. Next we will continue in the second part of this video.